I'm so excited. It's a beautiful day here in Mississippi. The sky is blue, the sun is shining, and I'm about to get started with some planting. Since Christmas, I've barely done anything outside at all. The weather has not been good enough to even think about doing anything outside. But I did make a video about things that you could do this winter in preparation for spring, and one of the things was to get your seeds organized. So we did that. A co-worker and I, well, the co-worker really, Crystal, she went through my seeds and she got them all organized so I could see what I had. Well, yesterday I was looking at Facebook and the Mississippi Extension Service posted a list of things that you could go ahead and get started growing in Mississippi. And one of those things is English peas. And I just so happen to have English peas in my seed hoard. So that's what I'm going to get started on today. It's the middle of January, and I know we're going to have more cold weather, but English peas like to grow in cooler weather. In fact, when it gets too hot, they're done. They won't perform anymore. So I've never grown English peas before, and I want to be sure to get these seeds in so I'll have my first crop of English peas this spring, hopefully. I have a couple of raised beds right here. This is where I grew my string beans last summer, my pole beans, and I had such a good time growing those and harvesting those. It was just a treat to come up here every day and pick the new string beans that were on the vines. Anyway, this is where I'm going to plant my English pea seeds this winter. But as you can see, I've done nothing to this bed since the summer. So I'm going to take this time and clean off the trellis back there and refresh the beds with some new topsoil and some amendments, and then I'm going to plant my peas. Have a brand new pair of gloves. I sharpened my pruners. They don't look the best, but they are sharp. Ready to get this gardening season on. Oh, what I want to do first, they said some people say to soak your English peas like for 24 hours before you plant them. Well, I forgot to do that, but so I'm going to put them in some water right now. And English peas, I mean, they're just like dried up English peas. It's an English pea, and they're dried. So I'm gonna put them in the water. I guess they have kind of a hard coating. Ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna plant that many or not, but. And I bought these peas last year. I don't know how many are in here, but I don't even know if I planted any last year or not, but I gave my sister some. And I'm gonna see how far this will get me. Whoop. The information says to plant them 1 inch deep and 1 inch apart. And I have 2 of these raised beds with the trellises. So I should be able to get a good many plants if they'll grow. I have done no garden clean out at all this year, none. Which is par for the course for me. And that's all right. Wintertime just isn't my jam. I just can't make it happen. And by the time these English peas fade out and are not growing anymore, it'll be time for me to plant some more string beans that are real fun to grow and harvest. I should have done this a long time ago, but get to it when you get to it, you know. I'm going to see if Mathis won't help me get some of my Christmas present right there, the soil, and take it up to the raised beds and help me fill those up before I plant my seeds. The bed is somewhat cleaned out. When you have raised beds, over time, of course, the level of the soil will drop. So every year, you probably should expect to have to add more soil and stuff. So that's what I'm doing now. And it can get expensive, just like anything else. That's why for Christmas, Mother's Day, my birthday, Valentine's Day, any kind of happy, anybody want, Easter, whatever, when my boys ask me what I want, I always tell them bagged soil or bagged mulch. Now, this, I don't know what, it says topsoil. I got it for Christmas. The boys gave it to me. It says it's soil conditioner, adds organic matter and sphagnum peat moss to existing soil. It'll also add volume to this raised bed. So it's going in. These are the English peas. They've been soaking, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or something. Not very much, but maybe the little coating on the outside, maybe that has softened up a little bit, and perhaps they'll be sprouting here for too long. Or they say to plant them an inch deep and an inch apart. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I've never planted them before, but I do love English peas. My favorite kind of English peas are the ones in the silver can called Le Sueur English peas. Those are delicious. But I remember one time when I was a little girl, I was in the car with my mama, and we were going over the railroad tracks. A man named Little Buddy Neal, he lived right across the railroad tracks. And Little Buddy Neal had a really pretty garden that spring. And he had told Mama, come by and pick you some English peas sometime. And Mama had never grown English peas, I don't think. So she said, okay, I'll stop by sometime and get the English peas. So anyway, we were coming over the railroad tracks, and she remembered he'd said that. So she stopped, and he was outside, and he said, yeah, Cyril Dean, come get you some English peas. Well, she didn't have a bucket or a bowl or anything to put them in. So he had something sitting out there by the garden, and it had some kind of liquid in it, and he just poured it out and gave her the bowl to put the English peas in. So she was picking and got a mess and came home and cooked them that night for supper, along with some new potatoes. Oh, and it was going to be the best meal. And we bit into those English peas, and they tasted awful. Come to find out, that bowl that she had put them in, that she harvested them in, it had gasoline in it. I don't know why she couldn't smell it. I don't guess anybody could. Anyway, so the English peas were ruined. It broke her heart. She was like, oh, these were going to be so good. So if these come to fruition and I'm able to get a mess, I'll have to cook them for my mama, so she can have her homegrown English peas, finally, after all these years.